To order. We'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next item is roll call.
Simonson.
Yes.
Rickrell.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Hollister.
Yes.
Coolman.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Holm.
Yes.
Next, we have the approval of tonight's agenda.
So moved. Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Lyons, seconded by Holm. We have no discussion. Take the roll.
Rickrell.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Hollister.
Yes.
Coolman.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Holm.
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Next, we have the public participation part of the agenda. Doesn't look like anybody's here, so we'll go on to the consent agenda, consisting of the minutes of the July 5th, 2022 regular council meeting. Our bills payable through July 18th, 2020 in the amount of $800.67. June monthly financial reports, a Class C liquor license and Sunday sales and outdoor services filed by the Jackson County Fair Association. We have a renewal of a Class C liquor license, Sunday sales and outdoor services area filed by Timber Lanes. Renewal of a Class E liquor license for Sunday sales filed by Casey's General Store, number 2846. And to set August 15th, 2022 at 6 p.m. as a public hearing date regarding the status of funded activities for Homebuyer Assistance programs and an application for a new tree trimming license filed by Jacob Baker Tree Services, LLC.
So moved.
Okay, we've got a motion by Coleman,
Second.
seconded by Good. And if we have no discussion, take the roll.
Lyon.
Yes.
Hollister.
Yes.
Coolman.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Holm.
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Rickrell.
Yes.
All right, next is a presentation on the Building and Code Enforcement Report, second quarter. Brad Corranda is here to present that.
I don't have a great, huge presentation, but I'm in my second quarter of this year, and we want to do a report to you every quarter, it seems like. So here I am. It seems like I've been, fairly busy, but it doesn't seem like I get a lot done, just normal. But we've got the renewal started on the rentals, which was a job in itself. We deal with a software program with the rental properties. That's a cheaper program, and we make it work. And I think people have, the predecessors have made it work. I think there's probably some better stuff out there that might make it a little more user-friendly and quicker for renewals and stuff like that. It's, I have to print out and make a lot of invoices for all the landlords. We have just under 200 landlords in town, with some of them with several properties, some of them with one. And I'm straightening some of that out because the computer has people owning stuff that they don't own anymore, or they don't rent out anymore. So I'm getting that all fixed, and I hope that makes it better. So someday, maybe down the road, we'll look at maybe some software that does a better job of that stuff. Building permits have been coming in pretty regularly. A lot of decks, a lot of, re-roofs, that type of thing. We've got a couple buildings going up right now. One's down on North Street, Brad Deary's putting up a addition to their detail shop, pretty good sized one. And then if you notice out by Walmart, the reason that building is getting put up is that building that's getting put up right now was already owned by the owner, and they gotta wait probably till spring before their 100 by 100 building they're putting up out there comes in. So they wanted to get something for the winter out there for their trucks. So once they get that, and they're building it structurally in the right place, site plan wise for their 100 by 100 to come in, and then they'll use that for more storage for their truck parts and winter type stuff for them. So, that's a pretty good sized, building coming up down there. Of course, the jail's coming down the pipe, so Scott will be busy with inspecting those types of things. And we're coming up on the season for, rental inspections. I've done a few, but this will be multifamily, the bigger multifamilies and the, trailer courts. So that'll be quite a few to do. Scott and I will be both doing those. And that'll be coming up here probably in the August, September. I'm hoping a couple months, maybe 3 for re-inspections and stuff like that. So 90 days hopefully to get that all done. Still working with people on nuisances. It seems like I'm getting 2 and 3 nuisances, new ones a day. I can only do so many. I've got probably 28 right now that I'm working with. Some of them are getting to the point where we'll probably be charging them, just because they're not cooperating or they're just not doing enough, quick enough. And some are doing good. I mean, some are making progress, and I go back once a week at the beginning, and then once things get better, I'll do once every 2 weeks. And if I see something going backwards, we'll talk about it. And that's kind of what I've been doing, with the nuisances and stuff like that. So I guess, does anybody have any questions?
Do you use any video equipment when you go on these inspections so that you can see if it's going backwards or not?
Well, I take a lot of pictures.
Pictures,
Yeah, I take
okay.
pictures, and then I record them, and basically I treat it like a case. Okay, so I've got file folders on my desktop. So each address that I deal with has a file folder. I do a narrative. I add to that narrative every time I talk to them. This is documentation to me. This is normal stuff for me. So when I send it to the lawyers, it's all there for them. They know we've tried. We gave them chances. We gave them double chances sometimes. And that's what judges want to hear. They don't want to hear the government coming down hard on somebody right off the bat. They want to hear that we're giving them chances to get things picked up. They're giving them some opportunity to do that. And then once it gets to a point where we need to do municipal fractions, then a judge sees that and they see that the city tried. And that ensures us for getting an order to go in and pick things up. Or forces the person to do it themselves, hopefully. So that's what I see, and that's what the attorneys tell you too, just to give them a little bit of a leash, The ones that are willing and are going forward every time I go there, I work with them. The ones that are ducking me and I have a few right now, then we'll get to that point where we'll get them charged. So that'll probably be coming up here pretty quick for the couple of them, so. But it's not something that happens overnight. This is not a unique situation for any community. It's just, it's something that we have to keep doing. And hopefully, with progress and, we're getting some, I just did a new house, permit today, in an area that I think that neighborhood needs that bump. And that might spread to the neighbors saying, hey, we've got a new house in my neighborhood, maybe we'll clean up things, a little bit. I think that's what it takes, So it's a kind of a multifaceted type of approach, I guess, but, progress helps a little bit with that too, so.
Anybody else have any questions?
Improvement is good, and it's going on, so
Well,
good job.
I've seen it with kids too.
keep working at it, that's all we can do. So, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Brad.
Thank you, Brad. All right, item 8 is a consideration. It's consideration of adopting a City of Maquoketa golf cart use ordinance.
Thank you, Mayor. At the July 6th Public Safety Committee, this is one of the topics we discussed. Councilman Simonson, if you want to take the lead on this, I'll certainly let you, but otherwise, if you defer to me, I'll speak on behalf of it.
Yeah, I'll defer to you. Just kind of one of those things that it gets brought up and wanting to see where everybody stood on it this time, so I'll let Josh kind of go.
We,
through it.
we had 2 members present for that meeting. It's totally fine, and we have a quorum. 2 members doesn't represent the interest of the council. You represent your constituents and what you think of something like this. I don't know if you've had a chance to review what's in your packet for Solon. That's the individual that was here. Solon's administrator, Cammie Rasmussen, was here as part of the University of Iowa group, and she says they're a golf cart community. So that's what we put in the council packet to see what something might look like. And these are different from UTVs for the reasons I've listed in the paragraph in the city manager summary. They don't have the same acceleration capabilities. They don't have the same Department of Natural Resource insurance requirements and registration requirements, and typically they don't have road-ready light systems. So there's reasons. Solon's ordinance is displayed and it's adopted the way it is so that this can go from sunrise to sunset, and you try to keep golf carts off of your main arterial highways. It's important to remember there's no seat belts on these, but as you know, you see UTVs driving around town, you see bicycles, you wonder why someone might not be able to do a golf cart, but again, you know, you might be talking 10, 15 miles per hour, and we just wanted to probe the council, gather some interest opinion from you all. If you're not for it, I think we can certainly table this discussion, or if you feel warm about the idea, we can start drawing up something and gather some more public input. There's no one from the public here tonight, but maybe as soon as we start talking about this a little bit more, some folks might come out. But I leave that to you to maybe open up and have some discussion on it.
Well, I think it's a good idea. I might end up in a golf cart myself one of these days. But a couple of concerns with these I'm not sure if it's in this ordinance in Solon or not, but can these things drive on the trails?
No, they cannot.
Okay, so how do they get to the hospital if they have to go out to visit somebody, for example?
Would they be able to take all roadway out to the hospital, or is there?
Oh, that's South Main Street. That's one of the main
see.
thoroughfares that they
Yep.
can't. So there'd have to be some kind of, I don't know why anybody would want to take
Yeah.
a golf cart to the hospital anyway, but
Right,
just questioning that limits access to Walmart too.
yeah,
So
Yep.
maybe an exception here and there would be a good idea, but
right.
why not? I mean, no nighttime.
Considering the fact that there's no seatbelts in these things, is there any liability issues that might come back on the city if people are allowed to drive these things on the streets and then somebody gets in an accident and people go flying?
I don't believe so, no.
There's not a seatbelt on a motorcycle.
Can we be sure?
Bicycle, moped, motorcycle.
We can defer
But-
that question to our city legal team and gather their opinion, but I would tend to believe, based on Solon's experience, that they would have included that in their ordinance. I have confidence in it, but not certainty, but if we were to present something, I'd cross that question with our city legal.
Yeah, I have a little problem with this because I've seen this city in the 4.5 years that I've lived here get a lot more busy really quickly
Yeah.
over these last few years. And I've been in Solon many times, and it's not, even though it's a feeder for Iowa City,
Right,
you know, you've got a lot more money in Solon than you've got here too, so people might be more likely to have golf carts running around. I don't know. I don't think it's a good fit for the city. I think it's too busy. I think I watch the ATVs and side-by-sides zip up and down my street at 45 miles an hour every day. You know, I don't know if they're going exactly 45 miles, but it's a lot more than 25.
yeah,
There are a lot of smaller towns. Monticello is a golf cart community and very similar to Maquoketa. I guess my only comment about the side-by-sides is that's a whole different ballgame. You know, there's vehicles that drive 50 mile an hour through town too. So
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to see somebody that's got a golf cart but doesn't have a side-by-side able to do the same thing that a side-by-side can do. So I'm in favor for public safety to look at something and proceed.
Anybody else want to throw in on it?
I'm not the least bit interested in this. In my neighborhood, there are golf carts circling the block all the time, right? Often though, with like 4 children going as fast as the golf cart will go, which maybe isn't all that fast, but when you have 4 kids hanging off of it all summer, just circling the neighborhood, it looks dangerous to me. But certainly where I live, a lot of people use the city streets to make their way to the country club. But I don't know how to make that's something that they can do, but not have them running all around town. I think they're generally unsafe, especially the 3-wheeled versions that you still see people driving, the old 3-wheel ones. I mean, those things are death traps, and so I'm not interested in pursuing this.
This ordinance would require a license and or 18, so you're not gonna have, right now you have kids out there and that's part of the problem, is you have them in one area of town that gets to do it and the rest of the town doesn't get to do it.
Yeah, and now that, UTVs are all over the place, you see kids driving all kinds of stuff on the streets. First of all, they're not old enough to drive. And then stuff that, mini bikes and all kinds of stuff where they're tearing up the sidewalk or going around the street. And, I know it's probably hard to really police this stuff, but it's like almost everyone's now thinks that anything that moves can be driven on a city street.
Now, if they have to be licensable, isn't there an ordinance in there that says you have to have seatbelts? Something to get a license on it? You got the whole click it or ticket thing going on over the last 5 years or so.
Yeah, I'd have to defer that specific question back to our attorney again. I tend to follow the path that if Solon isn't required to put that in, that they've consulted their city legal, they've covered those questions, and for whatever reason, they may have the same type of language. I don't have a UTV, I don't know if they have seat belts or not, but a motorcycle and some of those other vehicles that don't have those, I don't know how you force that on a golf cart owner, but we can explore it if we were to present something.
I should think if they want to drive it on the city streets, that they should have to follow the city ordinances. License on it, seat belts, lights, signals, or they're required to use their hand signals.
That's correct. It's a hand signal system. I would recommend sunrise to sunset if we were to present something, just so that we stay away from, is this light system good enough? Is it bright enough?
Right, okay, scratch the lights.
I have no interest in pursuing it.
I'm kind of right there with Brett. These things were made for a golf course. They're not made for city streets. The whole light situation and the seatbelt situation, I think if we do pursue this, I think we'll be opening up a can of worms that it's going to be hard to close, I don't see it safe. That's just kind of where I'm at with it, so.
I agree wholeheartedly. I'm totally against it.
Where are you at?
I could care less, one way or the other. People are gonna drive things. The seatbelt thing to me is just stupid. There's no seatbelts on motorcycles. There's no seatbelts. It just doesn't make that, for that to be the argument, doesn't make sense to me. But it does. I could go either way on it. I would, whatever if we were to get comments, I could sway whichever way the politics swung on it.
If the citizens would want to come in, say if we have a show of force, say like we did for the chickens or something like that, I wouldn't mind taking a look at it then. We're up here to represent the people at the end of the day.
Yep.
My personal opinion is I think we're opening up a can of worms. Any service can be delivered to the citizens safely. It just depends on how it's drawn up. But at this point right now, the ATVs are enough for me.
Well, looks like it's 4-3. Anybody else want to add anything? I guess we'll move on then. Item 9 is old business. And it's an ordinance amending Title 5, Chapter 1V, Section 4, Special Use Permit required of the City of Maquoketa Code of Ordinances, second reading. This,
Second.
It's for the radio tower.
it's for the radio tower, correct.
Sorry, I cut you off.
Okay, we got a motion by Colister. Who was the second? Lyon seconded it. If we have no discussion, then take the roll.
Colister.
Yes.
Coolman.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Holm.
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Rick Earl.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes. You want to suspend the rules and go on to the third?
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to suspend the rules.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion by Simonson, seconded by Lyon, to suspend the rules and go to the third reading. If we have no discussion, take the roll.
Coolman,
Yes.
Good,
Yes.
Holm,
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Rick Earl,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to proceed with the third reading.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Simonson, seconded by Lyon to proceed. Take the roll.
Good,
Yes.
Holm,
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Rick Earl,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
Coolman.
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes. We make it out of new business. A resolution awarding Harper Assets a downtown incentives, facade, and commercial interior grant in the amount of $12,645 upon verification of completed work and processed bills, or up to a maximum amount of $15,000 depending on the final qualified bill costs.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion by Colister, seconded by Lyon. Do you have anything you want to add to this?
No, just that they're extremely gracious, assuming this passes council. The ice cream shop is just now starting to open. It's a perfect hot day for it, so I don't know if y'all have had the chance to visit, but they're gracious for any award you might offer.
Okay. Well, if we have no more discussion, then take the roll.
Holm,
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Rick Earl,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
Coolman.
Yes.
Good,
Yes.
Item B is a resolution awarding Central Financial Group a downtown incentives commercial interior grant in the amount of $10,000.
So moved.
Okay, motion by Colister,
Second.
seconded by Holm. Do we have any discussion here? Then take the roll.
Simonson.
Yes.
Rick Earl,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
Coolman.
Yes.
Good,
Yes.
Holm.
Yes.
All right, item 11 is reports and communications. Anybody have anything from the city council report? All right, city manager's report.
I just want to thank Alliance tonight. They have just 3 water meters left, and just as much as I'd like to thank Alliance, I probably owe Judy and her staff, quite a bit of thank you as well. I got pizza for them, but that's nothing for the phone calls they took. 3 water meters they're down to, and last time we talked, it was 40-ish.
Really?
So, yep, it was
Did many
nice.
people get shut off?
Yeah,
I think it was like 10?
we did them in 2 rounds, and 10 each.
Most of them come in, of course, right away. But there's still a few holdouts, and that's 3 that we still have not heard back from.
It's amazing how that works, isn't it?
There's a number of inactive accounts still, and that's, Brad's no longer here, but, we talked today about let's start finding out why they're inactive and what we can do. So that's what's starting right now.
Okay, very good.
Maybe next time we just shut the water off first instead of doing all the other stuff.
Get their attention.
All right. We have nothing for an executive session. I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Colister,
Second.
seconded by Rickrell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned.
Excellent.
Yeah.